We're still at chapter 5. I just broke it up. We're on orgasm. As you learn yourself, you should also learn what brings you to orgasm. Orgasm is our birthright. It is what our pussies are designed to do. Learning your body helps you to learn what brings you to orgasm so that you can explain it to a partner and then they can bring you to a place of overwhelming pleasure. If you feel that you have trouble reaching orgasm on your own or with a partner, do not seek the orgasm as the goal. Instead, seek the best feeling, touch, and sensation, and try to stay in that pleasure as long as possible. Relax into your body and trust it to perform the way it was meant to perform. Orgasm does not have to be the expected end of every woman's sexual experience like it is for men. We have not been taught correctly about the ways in which men and women operate differently when it comes to sexuality. We have learned that something must be wrong with us if we don't reach orgasm after sex, or if we don't have multiple orgasms, or if we don't squirt. These unrealistic expectations stem from the pervasiveness of fantastical pornography and the lack of comprehensive sexuality education. The pressure to perform during sex is what leads many women to feeling ashamed of their bodies and its function, faking orgasms to save face, and wanting to avoid sex altogether. Clitoral stimulation is how women most often reach orgasm, and most women rarely, if ever, experience orgasms simply from penetration. If you feel stuck or find yourself worrying about why you can't seem to orgasm instead of enjoying the sensation, return to your pussy prayer practice. Laying hands on your pussy and communicating with her. See what she has to say to you. Ask her what can you do for her. Maintain confidence in your natural ability as you engage with yourself or with a partner. Trust your body and do not set out toward any goal other than simply feeling good. Overall orgasm is a brain function more than a pussy function. Consider your emotional state when trying to reach orgasm. Are you stressed? Are you rushed? Are there competing priorities on your mind? Are you criticizing yourself or your body in the moment? What is your environment like? Are you comfortable? Are you nervous? Are you afraid of getting caught? Are you afraid you won't perform in the way you want to? All these things can distract your brain from the goal of orgasm. Stress reduces sexual interest and pleasure in virtually everyone. Stress reduces sexual interest and pleasure in virtually everyone. For most people, it is the easiest to reach the peak of pleasure in a low-stress, affectionate, and erotic situation. Be intentional about creating the space you need to be as relaxed as possible, but remember that there is no such thing as normal. Your body is yours and operates exactly as it should. If you are a survivor of sexual trauma and are actively working through it with professional treatment, your brain may still attach a threat or danger response in sexual situations. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing spiritual and emotional processes to help you detach the trauma from your healthy sex practices. No matter where you start your journey, accept yourself where you are and give your body permission to do what it naturally does. The less criticizing, worrying, and thinking you can do in sexual situations, the more pleasure you allow yourself to feel. Partners in sex. Sex should happen in true intimacy, honesty, and trust, as it can be medicine or poison. The best exchanges should be full of pleasure. If you do not feel safe, you will manifest symptoms of danger. Your brain will go into stress mode, and you will probably won't feel as good as you should during the sexual encounter. Be discerning in where, why, and with whom you choose to have sex. Some people believe that casual sex is wrong or immoral, and some people believe that it is a natural part of having a healthy sex life. You won't find any judgments on that here, but be aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you are engaging in sexual behaviors from a negative or unhealthy mental and emotional space, or using sex as an escape from an internal pain, back up a little bit and figure out how to solve the root of the thing causing you stress, so that you can move forward in true pleasure. Before healthy sexual encounters, affirm that sex will be healing and pleasurable. Repeat it to yourself and feel it in your body. Believe that you are in control of your pleasure and that your partner simply amplifies that pleasure. In return, you should learn and take pride in providing pleasure for your partner. Cultivate your sexual ability and repertoire for your own and your partner's ultimate experience. It should please you to be of service to your partner, both within and outside of the realm of sex, and vice versa. Ask them what they need and how you can provide it. This is a divine privilege to manifest for the highest good of others. Better sex. You may feel like sex with your partner could be better, and maybe you can't quite put your finger on what needs to change. Sex should feel good unless you're into pain, in which case, do you, boo. And it should be fun. Sex with a partner shouldn't feel serious, like a job or an important meeting. You should be able to laugh, joke, or talk about whatever is on either of your minds. This level of healthy communication allows you to guide each other towards what you both enjoy. This is a major key in prioritizing pleasure. If you can't talk about sex, you probably shouldn't be having it. Figure out what's making you feel unable to talk to your partner about your bodies and your desires and work through that. But understand that sex can't be better until you speak up. You can't expect your partner to read your mind. Living in a sex negative and often sexually violent society, many of us have internalized embarrassment, repulsion, avoidance, or even disgust around topics of sex. This will take time to unlearn and will improve your sex life significantly when you can talk to your partner and tell them your desires. Sex conversations may feel awkward at first. You don't want your partner or yourself to feel inadequate or like an unfulfilling partner. Sensitively broach conversations, which is why fun and laughter is important, that you want to have about what you like and what you want to try. Ask your partner if there's anything that they would like that you all haven't been doing. It is best to have these conversations when you are not in a sexual situation so that you can think clearly and not feel pressured to perform immediately. There are resources in part 2 of this book to help you have these conversations. If having fulfilling sex with your partner is important to you, then prioritize the actions that will help you get there. Do research, read books, articles, watch videos, take classes. Don't be afraid to try new things together as a way to figure out what you both like. Keeping things exciting in the bedroom shouldn't be a task, but more like a fun activity that benefits you both. Shake things up every now and then with new positions, toys, environments, etc. Be sure to manage your expectations of yourself and your partner. Maybe you've had a past partner who you had amazing sex with. It is unfair to compare your current partner to them. Your partner should not compare you to anyone from their past either. Neither of you should be held to some standard you can't possibly meet. The best thing to do for a healthy relationship, sexual, romantic, or otherwise, is figure out what works for the both of you and strive to perfect that. Remember to be patient. It takes time to learn each other, and the sex may not be making you see fireworks right away. While you're giving it time to get better, you don't have to sacrifice your pleasure. Aside from self-pleasure sessions as you see fit, an essential part of sex is a set of pre-sex activities that we usually call foreplay. Foreplay is important because it gets you warmed up, turned on, lubricated enough for penetrative acts, if that's what you enjoy, or otherwise sensually heightened to the point where sex is desired, easy, and pleasurable, putting you that much closer to orgasm. Some lazy or unknowing lovers may think that foreplay is just a little kissing, touching, rubbing, maybe licking of a nipple or two right before engaging in whatever type of penetration you prefer. For many of us, that is not nearly enough. Don't let things start before you're ready. If you're experiencing pain or discomfort when your partners attempt to put a penis, toy, or finger inside your vagina, tell them to stop. Let your partner know what you need. Direct them back to an action that makes you wetter and better prepared for action. If you find that you still aren't as wet as you like to be, or that it's causing you discomfort, don't be ashamed of using lubricants. Water-based or silicone-based lubricants with natural ingredients are best. And when placed in and around your vagina as well as on the penetrating toy or body part, you should find that there is more ease from discomfort caused by friction, and things are more pleasurable for you both. On the flip side of this, many times our bodies and our brains may not be given the same signals during sex. That is to say, your brain may be ready for sex, but your pussy may not be as wet as you expect. You or your partner may not be able to tell if you're warmed up enough. Therefore, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not dysfunctional. In most women, there is only a 10% connection between the physical feeling of being turned on and the mental acknowledgement of being ready for sex. This just means that there are other physical cues that you and your partner can look to as signs that you're ready for sex. You or your partner can pay attention to your breathing. When you are aroused, your breathing and pulse increase. You may also notice yourself holding your breath more as your muscles contract. Your body may become tense in areas like your wrists, your abdomen, your calves, your buttocks, your thighs, and feet to signal arousal. More than anything, you or your partner should listen for the things that you say, asking for more affirmative language. Yes, I love it, I want it, etc. And moans or other sound effects can signal how you feel. Don't get checked. Before I made a conscious effort to develop positive communication skills, I was the queen of the silent treatment. If I didn't like something, I never said anything. I just got quiet. Sometimes for a day or two, sometimes forever. Silent treatment and avoidance of important conversations was a regular occurrence in my childhood home. People just didn't talk. They sulked. They talked shit to other people about whatever was going on, but they never actually communicated with the person that had offended them in order to solve the problem. Somehow the other person involved was just supposed to know why a person was mad and fix it. Usually this type of extreme resentment and suppression of feelings and desires exploded at the most inconvenient and unrelated moments, leading to many instances of violence and champion shouting matches. Unfortunately, I carried this bad habit into my early adult years. I had to be checked, told about myself, read up and down before I realized that this habit was not okay. I was dating a gorgeous, intelligent, and accomplished older woman at the time. I do not remember the offense, but I remember that something I thought she had said or done had upset me. With my poor home training, I ghosted her, completely cutting her off communication without explanation. This lasted for the better part of a year. In that time of no communication between she and I learned some new information that made me realize that I was upset over a misunderstanding, and that I had just said what I wanted or needed or expressed my concerns about whatever the issue had been. We could still be going strong. So, trying to be the grown-up I thought I was, I humbled myself and called her. In her graciousness, she invited me to lunch so we could talk in person. My life changed at that lunch because it was here that she checked me on my poor behavior. With all the kindness and understanding that I didn't deserve, she calmly explained to me that the silent treatment was not how she intended to operate in any of her personal relationships. She told me that she knew I could be more mature than I had behaved, and she was disappointed that I had not voiced my concerns so she could have easily soothed my discomfort. Finally, she let me know that I needed to use my words and let her know what was going on, what I needed and wanted from her, or she would have no choice but to end communication with me because she deserved better. I ate and listened without speaking, thoroughly embarrassed by the sweet scolding I had ever received, by the sweetest scolding I had ever received. We were silent for what seemed like 20 minutes. I apologized softly and promised to do better. All of this to say, can you imagine the things that could change if you just communicated effectively with your partner? Can you imagine how less stressed, anxious, or irritated you might be if you allowed a person the grace and the space to make changes before deciding for them that they aren't worth the trouble? Better sex, better relationships, and better communication make the perfect combination for consistent and long-lasting love and pleasure. Don't wait until you have to get checked to make changes. Make your desires known and allow your partner to rise to meet them.